Well, today I've come to Dunscombe Bridge on the River Yeo. This is part of the Crediton Fly Fishing Club's extensive beats that they have around here. And I'm sort of hoping to get my season off to a bit of a start, really. It's the 8th of April today, and so far I've been out once for a couple of hours. Apparently it's been the wettest March since 1981, and most of the rain seems to have gathered for the weekends, which is the only times that I can get out. So yeah, I've just been flooded off, really. It's still a bit high. It's also a bit cold. It's only about 4 or 5 degrees, I think it said in the car when I was driving down. So I'm not going to expect a lot, I think, until say the middle of the day. But anyway, at least we're back out fishing. So we'll see how we get on. Right, well, I'm starting with a quick go of this Euro nymphing malarkey. I've got a very cheap 10-foot 3-weight with a cheap reel and a French leader, an indicator, and then a couple of Perdigon nymphs under it. This is not something I do a lot of, if at all. In fact, I bought this kit about 2 years ago, and I think I've used it twice. So I thought I'd give it another go. Seeing as it's so early in the day and it's so cold, I'm not expecting anything to be rising, so this is as good as anything. So, you know, here's the problem with this thing on these types of rivers, is that when you watch on YouTube, you basically just stick it in and then just pull the fish out, but they don't seem to have any trees on their videos. And it's come out. Just the action of like flicking the rod over, because you want the nymphs, don't you, to land first and then get onto this tight lining. You just put it in the bushes all the time. It's not like casting a fly line at all. I'm sure you can get better at it. The problem is, after about 40 years of practicing with a fly line of how to try and get a decent loop. See what I mean? No, it's gonna have to get taken out. The idea of now not casting a nice tight loop to get under the trees and stuff is just totally alien to me. Look at how much this pool's changed here. It used to be quite deep over there, and it's now a beach. Amazing what the winter floods have done. How it's changed the whole look of this place. I'll see if I can do some like before and after. Oh, kingfisher just went up the river. Yeah, I'll see if I can do some like before and after shots from last year to this year. Amazing. But not doing bad on the bird life. I've seen a dipper come down the stream and now a kingfisher go up the stream. So pretty good. Oh, what was that? Is that the bottom? A little move on the indicator thing then. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. Like I say, you'd be forgiven, you watch the other things on YouTube, they just cast this in and pull the trout out. We're not quite this sort of stream. I've been in 3 roots already, tangled up. Still, we shall persevere. I'm speaking to a couple of other members in the club over the closed season, and they seem to do all right with it. That's some good results. Well, the big old Stegosaurus stump has gone. So it's going to be a lot easier to get to under the bridge now for people. Always reminded me that a bit of the dark crystal. Can you remember that, Phil? Can't remember what the baddies were called, but it certainly had that shape look about it, those puppets. Actually quite high, this river, it's really pushing through. Well, I don't believe it. I've got a fish on. It does work. It's odd actually, because I just caught a little twig and this felt exactly the same as hooking the little twig, and then it pulled back the other way. That's quite a current on. Whoa! Steady on. First one of the season. Hooray! Off the mark. Get that other camera out of the way a minute. I'm full of cameras now. Look at that. Very nice. Well, there we are. That's torn it. Now I'm going to have to keep fishing the bloody method, aren't I? Well, this has all changed here too, isn't it? There was a big massive tree last year coming off that corridor right across the river. It's either come out or it's been pulled out and chopped down or whatever. Certainly changed that, isn't it? Again, it's going to be a lovely run come the summer. You can actually cast right up in there now, drift your dry fly down through that bubble line. Lovely. Lovely to be out hearing the birds and everything back in the river. I'll be the first to admit that I don't really know what I'm doing with this technique, so I'm quite pleased to have caught something. It's not easy casting it, I don't think, in these sorts of streams. Look at these low hanging branches here. When you watch on YouTube, they tend to be casting it right over the top of their heads and then almost high sticking the rod, you know, up like this, so they get the nymphs in first. It's quite hard to do on these streams. These trees in the way. It's like tuck cast everything, isn't it? Still, I have actually done a bit of a cheat in that this rod, you can take a section out of this rod and knock it back to a 9 foot and put a proper fly line on it, and that's what I'm going to do later once it warms up a bit. I'll have a go with a dry fly or a duo or something. Oh, what is this? We have another fish on, and it feels like quite a good one. Oh no, it's taking me to where these trees are. No, it's not a good one. I think it's just really strong current. Although, what am I saying? They're all good. Number 2 for the technique. There we are. Certainly does work. And number 3, without moving spot. Guys, strong current in there. stay below it. Again, it's not a very big fish, it's just really, oh, pinged off. Really strong current. Oh well. Cool. And this is getting a bit crazy now. I've had 2 more fish ping off, one of which stuck me in that tree. And I had to climb up the tree, snap the branch, get all the gear back. Thought, well, that's definitely torn it now. But no, another fish has taken. Oh, it's down there, tree. Tighten this drag up a bit, really, didn't I? Make these fish look bigger than they are. Nice fish though. Wow. You tangle them. Oh, flies come out. That's nice. Yeah, nice fish. Oh dear, I'm starting to get converted. So this is an interesting spot on this beat. Apparently the river used to come down that side. You can just about see where the old bank used to be over there. It's not been there for a few years now. And it's slowly cutting into the bank over this side now and making a big like bend. And the difference in the river in terms of where they've artificially straightened it up there, and it's basically just slow and fairly shallow and a bit lifeless, compared to this part where we've got all these different runs and different depths and faster water and deep bends. It shows you where the river wants to be, and how much better it would be for the wildlife if we could put a few more wiggles back in it. Of course, I'm not sure what the farmer would think about losing more of his field. Right, well, I've switched on to a fly line now, and I'm trying a bit of the New Zealand dropper. I'm hoping to see something rise now. It's warmed up a bit. I think it's about 12 o'clock, and then we can put a dry fly on. Obviously it does work, that technique, but I find it a little boring. I think I just miss the casting. Part of the joy of the fly fishing, I think, is the casting, isn't it? Just the feeling of it. We have a tree. Right, move up a bit. Yeah, I miss it. I miss the feeling of the fly line in the rod. Big old root ball in there. Okay, get back to you in a minute. Right, that's got that retrieved. One of the other things I found with it was exactly that. It's a lot easier to get caught up in all the tree roots and stuff. When you see them doing it on these other rivers, they just have nice gravelly bottoms over it, don't they? Don't have to worry too much about getting snagged. And it's quite easy to get a tangle with that rig too, I found. Not sure the nymph I've got on here is quite heavy enough for this flow. I've got a little fish on the New Zealand method. Just changed to a slightly bigger beaded nymph. Just felt like that other one wasn't getting down enough. about third cast. And fish. God, only just very lightly hooked that one. Oh, not bad. In good condition, these fish. We can't moan this year, can we, about there being a lack of water early season? Oh my God. Look at that up through there, isn't that lovely? If it wasn't for the noise of the road, you'd think you were miles from anywhere. And another one to the New Zealand in this quite slower water. I think the fish are in the slower pools really. Oh, smashing. Which you'd expect, wouldn't you, this time of year? They're not going to be in the real faster runs. Although with that nymphing, I suppose they were. There's a mark on its head, that one. Looks like a heron or something's had a go at it. Nice one. Well, apologies for the traffic noise. I think some of the motorcyclists found here in Crediton seem to think this is the Isle of Man, and they're screaming along this road. Well, I think it's safe to say, isn't it, that from a fish catching point of view, I should be sticking with the nymphs. And really I should have stuck with that Euro nymphing technique. I can see how in the right hands that would be absolutely deadly, but I'm not doing that. Part of this fly fishing is just to enjoy it, isn't it? And I like fishing the dry fly, so I swapped over to a dry fly. Got a great big like dark olive emerger thing on. I haven't seen anything rise, I've hardly seen any flies, but I don't think it's going to work, but I do think I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm going to do that for maybe an hour or so and then call that it. Well, no rises to report, I'm afraid. There's a few more flies coming off, but not enough to bring the fish on. You just see again the power of the flood here. This wasn't here before, this like beach thing, and all that field that's gone away there. You can see how the oilseed rape's been planted so close it's fallen into the river. It's made quite a nice run down along here though. I might go and take that branch out in a minute, just for future reference. Yeah. That tree there used to be on the bank. It's like the river's run round behind it. Definitely be some fish caught in here this year. Right, well that's me done for the day then. I sat and watched a few pools where I thought there might be a chance of a rise, but all to no avail. Still nice to get off the mark. A few fish to the net. The year is young, isn't it? Plenty of time to find some rising fish yet. Thanks to everybody who's liked and subscribed to the videos. I've actually now met 2 people who have seen the videos and decided to join the club, which was what the idea was behind the films in the first place, so that's really, really great. And yeah, so I'll see you on the next one.